What if I told you that there was a low-budget Mormon movie from the 2000s starring iCarly's Jennette McCurdy, and that the plot revolved around crushes and biochemical warfare? Let's jump into the 2009 period piece. So grab your flip phones, put on your chunky Claire's headband, and prepare to be transported back to the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis.
We start off with the most 2000s intro humanly possible. Showing off everyone's trendy, but LDS appropriate clothing, state-of-the-art flip phones, and swoopy side bangs. We're introduced to Paige, who is meant to be the main character. There's a scene in the trailer that gives more insight into her family situation. But weirdly enough, they cut this from the movie. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was a runtime thing, but Paige gets so little character development, I think taking this line out about her family situation was not a great decision. Paige opens the car door and accidentally hits the car beside her, but ooh, it just so happens to be the car of a cute boy, knockoff Taylor Lautner, named Ethan, who's portrayed as the school's most eligible bachelor. I think it's really interesting the emphasis that this movie puts on the crushes between these tweens that they have on one another, considering Mormon ideology is really focused on marriage and specifically its members marrying young. Now, obviously, tween romance is portrayed all the time on networks like Disney and Nickelodeon, but Protestant Christian movies from this time were really focused on purity culture. So there would have been an atmosphere of like shame or holier than thou attitudes to young Christian girls being portrayed as having crushes and wanting to hold a boy's hand. So it's interesting that at the same time where Disney stars were pressured to wear purity rings, that on the Mormon side of things, we have these Mormon girls who are allowed to have crushes on boys and go to school dances with them and probably have the idea that they're going to marry them as soon as they graduate high school. We then meet some other important characters, including Abby, Brad, and Emily. Abby is a prissy, stuck-up girl, Brad is a generic teen boy, and Emily is the 10-year-old Nepo baby of the school principal. It's never made exactly clear how old the four main girls, Abby, Paige, Claire, and Taylor, are, but it's implied in interviews by the creators that the girls are in their tweens/teens, and in the movie they're specifically called teenagers. The only real hint we have is that they're taking earth science as their science course, which, according to my in-depth research of a singular Google search, Utah students typically take earth science sometime between 6th and 10th grade, which is extremely unhelpful in narrowing down their ages. I'm just going to guess that they're in 8th or 9th grade based on the way that they look, but I could be 1000% off base. Ethan introduces Paige to Abby, Brad, and Emily. Can I just say it's insane that Ethan is putting his arm around Paige, who he met exactly 4 seconds ago? I grew up in evangelical Christianity, and a boy having his arm around you like this was a big no-no. Anyway, Abby has a huge crush on Ethan, so of course she's very jealous of the attention that Ethan is giving to the new girl, Paige. Throughout the movie, Paige and Abby are set up as foils to each other, with Abby being a snobby, prissy type who's obsessed with clothes and boys, while Paige is down-to-earth, hardworking, and humble. Paige is not like other girls. She's just naturally beautiful, wholesome, the girl next door. Paige then meets another important character, Claire, who is played by Danielle C. Ryan. Out of the 4 main characters, it is very clear that Danielle had the most experience acting at this point. Danielle's acting feels a lot more natural and believable than the other girls, especially compared to Abby's acting. Danielle has actually been in a lot of stuff, quite a few of them being Mainstay Pro Productions, which is a movie production company based in Utah. Some of her work includes 2 really popular Hunger Games short films, one about Haymitch and the Second Quarter Quell, which for many fans was considered the video for portraying Haymitch's games. The other Hunger Games film was about Rue's death in the 74th Games, where Danielle played Katniss in a crazy wig. Caitlin E.J. Meyer, who plays Paige in minor details, also played Glimmer in the same Hunger Games short film. Danielle and Caitlin have actually starred in multiple things together, including Ostentatious, which was a kind of modern-day Jane Austen multiverse show. In the movie, Claire is portrayed as being athletic, nerdy, and very into reading, especially reading mystery novels. Can I also just say that Danielle has the most insanely gorgeous hair? Like, the House of the Dragon creators would kill to make a blonde wig half as good as Danielle's natural hair. The long, flowing hair also definitely feels very fundamentalist religious. Growing up in the church, women were taught to idealize long, flowing hair since we were told that that's what men found attractive, and your hair was your modesty covering and your crowning glory. Paige is supposed to room with Abby, but Abby switches Paige and Claire's room numbers. What's weird is that neither Paige or Claire argue about this. I get that they're both new to the school, but it's honestly crazy that Abby just steamrolls over them and the girls just accept this fate.
I have the top 3 drawers, but you can have the bottom one. And I have a lot of things, so many more closet space. Is that okay with you? See ya.
Paige goes to the new room that Abby just exiled her to, and we meet Taylor. Now, based off this meeting, you would probably think that Taylor is really into music and more on the alternative side. But besides her wearing a musical note sweatshirt in this intro, this never really comes up again. Her main interests for the rest of the movie seemed to be cheerleading and boys, so I feel like this intro did not introduce that well. I also feel like Taylor has the least distinct character out of the 4 girls. Paige is a wholesome, naive girl next door. Abby is the prissy, boy-crazy, mean girl fashionista. Claire is a book-loving tomboy, and Taylor is nothing in particular. She shares a lot of interest with Abby, but otherwise has a pretty nondescript personality. I think they really could have done more with her character, like her being into music or actually being a little bit more on the alternative side. Taylor says she's happy she doesn't have to room with Princess Riley anymore.
So glad I don't have Princess Riley again. Princess Riley? I knew this place was fancy, but I didn't know a princess was enrolled here. Oh, she's only a princess in her own mind.
We then meet this Princess Riley and Mia, the school's 2 mean girls. It's legitimately insane how much these 2 girls bully the other students. Like, does a teacher never overhear this or step in? I guess the girls tend to be mean when the adults are not around and act like perfect angels when the adults are near, which is pretty accurate to how some bullies avoid detection by authority figures. But seriously, these girls are irredeemably mean, especially Mia.
Jeremy.
What did he do?
Yeah, what'd he do? Is there an echo in here?
Oh, must be.
I hope I make first string. Me too. The only string you'll need is a string to keep up those reddy shorts.
The character exposition we have gotten from Mia so far is that she seems really rich, but her dad is actually struggling financially because his business is not doing well. Mia and Riley say their dream is to be supermodels and that they both want to go to modeling camp. Mia expresses that she is concerned about her grades because her dad will not let her attend modeling camp unless her grades improve. And so presumably Mia is taking out all these expectations and negative feelings her family puts on her, turning around and taking that out on other students.
We'll be famous. Holly Jackson and Mia Maxwell. Supermodels. Love it.
Mia is, of course, played by the iconic Jennette McCurdy, and she actually gets top billing in this movie, not because she's the main character, but I think just because she was the most famous, and this was one of the main selling points in marketing the movie, was that Jennette McCurdy was in it. And Jennette rose to fame from playing Sam in iCarly. If you haven't read Jennette's memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, I highly recommend it. It's really sad knowing that Jennette was forced into acting by her mother into movies like this, and all the emotional toll that acting and being a child actor took on her. The creators of this movie specifically said they wanted Jennette because Jennette was Mormon, and they wanted to create a movie with all Mormon leads that promoted Mormon values and standards. In Jennette's book, she mentions becoming close friends with someone named Colton, and it seems like she met Colton while filming Minor Details, and that Colton was the second assistant director, which I did not even know was an actual title. Also in the classroom with Mia and Riley and the other girls is Professor Plume, their science teacher. I'm assuming this is a play off of Clue's Professor Plum. He actually has some genuinely funny moments, though. I think the funniest moments of the script come from the quirky adult school employees, like the teachers and janitor. It also feels genuine because when you are a teen, you do think that every adult around you is weird and lame, and that definitely comes through in the ways the girls see these zany adults. The kids are, of course, still respectful to the adults, especially their parents and principal, because after all, this is a religious kids movie, and we don't want to be promoting disobedience. Over in the corner, Ethan and Brad are having a grand old time with Claire and Paige, much to Abby's dismay and envy. We jump to the cafeteria 2 weeks later, where Abby is ranting about Paige.
She's trying to join every club in the school. Who is she trying to impress? What is her problem?
When Paige comes over to sit with them, Abby crawls underneath the table like a cartoon character.
For you to say, you don't have to teach her how to dribble.
We then are introduced to Nurse Betty, the school nurse. Her main personality trait is that she is obsessed with watching soap operas. We also see Sean in this scene, who was introduced earlier by his helicopter mother, explaining how Sean has a million allergies and is always sick. Sean is a classic geeky character who's always snotty and talking about nerd things. Next is a scene of Mia getting a call from her mom. Mia and Riley are so rude to Taylor in this scene as well, but this scene will be important for later, so keep this in your memory. 12 minutes in, and we finally get our inciting incident of the movie, which is a mysterious hooded figure posting a cryptic note on the hallway bulletin board that reads, "Cheerleaders are ick, and they're going to get sick."
Dribbles, left, right.
The next day, Brad knocks over the bulletin board and Claire discovers the note. Can we take a moment to appreciate the Justice 2009 realness of these outfits? I would have given my left arm in 2009 to roll up to 5th grade in an outfit this iconic. Taylor in her purple dress and leggings, and Abby in her ballet flats, calf-length leggings, 2 knee-length skirts layered on top of each other, a velvet bolero, and a chunky statement necklace. Talk about iconic. We then see Claire, Abby, and Paige at soccer practice. We also have the deeply strange and problematic editing choice that whenever the Indian soccer coach, Coach Johnson, is on screen, they play this vaguely South Asian-inspired tune in the background.
Getting plenty of sleep, and most important, drinking lots of water, okay? Hydrate.
No other character has their own theme music, literally just the soccer coach. Then, once again, Mia is nasty to the other girls for absolutely no reason.
All you'll need is a string to keep up those ready shorts.
Later that night, Claire analyzes the note she found earlier about the cheerleaders getting sick. Abby dismisses Claire's suspicions and says that it was probably just a prank by Emily, the principal's daughter. The next day at cheerleading practice, Taylor is trying to impress the cheerleading coach. Mia and Riley walk in and, of course, start causing problems. Riley reminds everyone that she is always the cheer captain. A little later at lunch, the cheerleaders begin getting nauseous one by one.
Is this room swaying?
Hey, you look pretty bad.
With every cheerleader sick in the nurse's office, Nurse Betty is overwhelmed and calls for help on the loudspeaker. Claire and Abby go to help, and Claire points out that the note warned about the cheerleaders getting sick. Abby dismisses her worries again. Abby, Paige, and Claire meet in Paige and Taylor's room to discuss the weird occurrences with a very ill Taylor. Next, we get a conversation between Sean, Ethan, Brad, Paige, and Claire. Abby and Taylor happen to see this interaction and are jealous because Abby likes Ethan and Taylor likes Brad. Then, while the 4 girls are in science lab together, they discover a new note. A few days later during practice, the entire girls' soccer team does indeed get nauseous. Now that a good chunk of the school has gotten sick, the 4 girls meet together to discuss who might be behind the mysterious notes and somehow making everyone sick. The girls put together a list of suspects. The girls theorize that it might be Sean because he's always sick, and maybe he's trying to make everyone feel as bad as he does, which is weird logic, but okay. Abby and Taylor insist that it could not possibly be Ethan or Brad, with their reason mainly being pretty obvious that it's just because they have crushes on them. They discuss how Emily, the principal's daughter, might be the culprit because she loves to pull pranks, and I just want to pause for a second here. I have a big problem with the way they handle this because all throughout the movie they talk about how Emily loves pranks, but they very easily could have just shown Emily performing a prank early on. Maybe they did and they cut it, but again, this feels like a very show instead of tell thing. The other main suspect is Professor Plume because he hates how students have to leave his class for club activities like soccer and cheerleading. Plus, Professor Plume is always using his weird chemistry know-how to concoct strange substances, so the girls think it's possible that he could create something to make people sick. The girls then consider Riley and Mia as possible suspects, since they are very mean and fully capable of doing something horrible. But then they decide it couldn't have been Riley or Mia because both of the girls got nauseous as well. During their discussion, Abby is really rude to Paige.
Different groups and everybody gets sick. Tell us something we don't know.
Paige finally stands up for herself by walking out, leaving the room, and saying nothing. Abby is unrepentant, but does not want Claire and Taylor to think badly of her, so Abby goes to apologize to Paige. Abby reveals that she is mean because she likes Ethan, but says she will accept it if Ethan and Paige are a couple. Paige laughs at the idea of her being in a relationship with Ethan. Paige tells her she thinks Ethan has a crush on Abby, which of course makes Abby very excited. Abby finally genuinely apologizes, and the girls seemingly squash their one-sided bullying beef. We then get a scene showing that since the soccer and cheerleading teams got sick, the students are now afraid of eating in the cafeteria. The students line up at the vending machine to get their food. Brad remarks on how whoever owns these vending machines must be making a lot of money since all the students are constantly buying from them. The girls search Sean's room for evidence, and since he's a teenage boy, his room is unsurprisingly disgusting. It's interesting that he doesn't seem to have a roommate unlike the girls. He has a queen-size bed instead of a bunk bed. I'm guessing he got some kind of special accommodation due to his allergies and medical needs. Sean discovers the girls and asks them why they're searching his room. The girls come up with a very unbelievable lie that they are performing room inspections. Later that night, the girls sneak off campus to eat at a Mexican restaurant since they're very hungry, since no one wants to eat at the cafeteria because of the everyone getting sick thing. Claire realizes that someone is following them, and the girls hide. The girls discover that it is Brad, Ethan, and Sean that were in fact following them. The girls go in and they confront the boys. The boys say that they followed them because they were acting so suspiciously, and Sean reveals that he did not buy the lie about the room inspection. The girls decide to let the boys in on the mystery of the notes and the possible poisonings. The next day, Mia and Riley discover another note from the mysterious figure.
What is it?
Read it, it's freaky.
Don't want to barf. Stay away from the carf.
Carf. Kinda sounds like cafeteria.
Check it out, guys. It wasn't a virus after all. Someone's deliberately trying to poison our food.
You know, I bet it was one of Emily's pranks. Yeah, that's it.
Why are you looking so guilty, Brad?
Mia points out that Brad is one of the only students who did not get sick, and when Brad accuses her, she reminds him that she got sick and helped Nurse Betty with all the sick kids. Taylor and Paige go to clean lab dishes so Paige can get some extra credit points. The girls overhear Professor Plume on a mysterious, seemingly very incriminating phone call.
The students? Oh, no. They don't suspect a thing.
This leads to Professor Plume having to reveal that he entered several of the students in a surprise science fair. He announces Paige as one of the competitors. Taylor is annoyed that Paige has been dragging them to clean lab dishes when all along Paige had been getting a great grade in science.
I thought you said you were doing bad in this class. Extra credit never hurts.
The four girls then decide that Emily is the next most likely suspect and go to search her room. Emily comes in and demands to know why they're in her room. Emily is sad to learn that the girls suspect her. The girls make Emily promise that she is not involved in the poisoning. Paige says that, as an apology for suspecting her, Emily can sit with them at lunch for a whole week, much to the annoyance of the other three girls. Later that night, a pine cone wrapped in a mysterious note gets chucked at Paige's head. The girls suspect that it was Sean, Ethan, and Brad who threw the note. They decide to follow the boys around, and they witness the boys sneaking into Nurse Betty's office. The girls decide to confront the boys, cornering them in the science classroom. The boys don't want to talk, but the girls threaten them with a strange green goo that Professor Plume created. For some reason, even though teenage boys love disgusting things, this threat works. Sean is, of course, the weak link and spills everything. As a whole, the directing and cinematography in this film is very uninspired. The low budget is very, very obvious in the quality of that. But there are two scenes in this movie that I do think have adorable and creative cinematography. The first one being a shot from the trailer, and then the second one being the beginning of this scene where the four girls are in a braid train, braiding one another's hair and discussing how happy they are that Ethan wants to ask Abby to the dance and Brad wants to ask Taylor. As someone who was on a cheerleading team, I can attest that this is definitely a real thing of doing a braid train, and it is so girly and wholesome. I also appreciate that the movie didn't go the predictable route of having Paige be the main love interest just because she's the main character. Abby, Brad, Taylor, and Ethan have all known each other for years and have developed strong friendships first. Despite Abby and Taylor presuming that their crushes were more interested in Paige and Claire, the two girls actually get to end up with presumably what are their long-time crushes. While looking more closely at all the notes, Claire has a sudden epiphany.
Oh my gosh. I know who it is. Now
Now we know who the rat is. We just have to set the trap. This is gonna be fun.
The girls sneak into Betty's office and announce a fire drill over the intercom. During the drill, the girls use this as their opportunity to search their main suspect's room. We don't know who they suspect, but we will soon find out. During the next soccer practice, the girls watch as the hooded figure puts an unknown substance in the soccer team's water cups. The girls throw out the tainted water cups and say they will be putting the substance they got from the room in just one cup. Next, the girls pressure Mia to drink from her cup, but Mia refuses. Their coach insists that Mia hydrate, 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 and she eventually drinks it. Mia then runs into the bathroom to barf, while Riley is chasing after her in concern. The four girls also follow Mia into the bathroom.
I had to leave a very important staff meeting for this. Taylor says she knows how everyone got sick.
It was Mia. It was not me. Why would she do that? Besides, she got sick twice herself. Explain that if you can.
She was faking?
I hope you girls have some proof.
The other day I was collecting lab notes, and Mia's writing is so perfect. She put this little squiggly on her letter A's. We were looking at the notes in our room, and I saw that squiggle.
I mean, she's right. Anyone could copy her handwriting.
What about this for starters? Abby said that the person who was doing this must have been getting something from it. So I remembered something.
The funniest part is these cool tone Twilight-esque filters that we get over the flashbacks. It's truly so funny and so jarring.
Someone is making a lot of money off these machines.
Thought that the only person who would be able to gain anything from this was a person who owned the vending machines. And I did some checking online, and all the machines in the school are owned by Maxwell Enterprises, your dad.
So you and your family were making money by making everyone sick.
How did she do it? How did she make everyone sick?
Here's how.
So what really happened? He ate some berries off a bush outside our house. My mom gave him Ipecac to make him throw up. Ricky told me all about it in total detail. Gag! You put Ipecac in everyone's water to make them think that the food in the cafeteria was contaminated.
And then your dad would make money off the vending machines, and you would get to go to modeling school this summer. How would I even get this Ipecac or whatever you call it?
Well, remember this?
And I helped Nurse Betty with the other sick kids.
We found this in Mia's room. Nurse Betty checked her supplies, and she's missing a couple bottles of Ipecac.
Okay, you girls can all go now. I will deal with Mia.
So it turns out Mia was doing biochemical warfare and purposely poisoning her fellow students with Ipecac. That is just like 700 kinds of unhinged, truly sociopathic behavior. And all of this for a modeling camp? Like, girl, you're lucky they're not committing you to a psych ward. After the girls unmask Mia's dastardly plans like a Scooby-Doo villain, we jump forward in time. The girls are discussing their dresses for the end-of-term dance, and Ethan very, very slowly, awkwardly, and quietly drops in to say this.
I like that one.
And genuinely, that was a cute moment, if, not acted very well. And of course, this makes Abby very happy. The girls then get to enjoy seeing Mia put on cafeteria cleaning duty, which, considering Mia targeted the cafeteria with her biochemical warfare crimes, it makes sense that she's tasked with cleaning it up as her punishment.
It's a happy kitchen. I know.
Well, she got what she deserved.
Yeah.
We end the movie with Emily running in to announce that there has been another note left. Emily remarks on how gullible people are, and the girls look at one another and laugh. And that's it. That's minor details.